Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm talking about the latest Disney and Pixar film called Elio, and this is a film where a young boy has always wanted to dream of, he's always dreamt about meeting aliens, meeting creatures from outer space and going to other galaxies and all that stuff we see in science fiction movies. So near the beginning of the film, he gets that opportunity to do so, and these aliens that basically abducted him into their universe or galaxy or wherever this film is taking place confuses Elio to be the mistaken ambassador of Earth. And so throughout the movie, Elio has to go through this, fictional identity of being this ambassador that's basically going to help them out, reach a better life, make a better community for these aliens. And there's this big threat that these aliens are up against, or that this alien who's voiced by Brad Garrett from the Everybody Loves Raymond show, and he's basically this big slug-like alien that wants to take them, take over all these planets, take over all these galaxies. And so, because Elio's kind of the big new alien on the block to them, they want Elio to stop this new evil threat to them. And so, over the course of this film, Elio has to figure out how to stop this alien while also befriending this younger alien that also happens to be the son of this villain that he's taking on. So, him and the son of the villain have to figure out how to stop the father of all of this madness for good. And also, Elio has to clear his name of what he really belongs to so that his real identity is known to the aliens that have since abducted him. But overall, guys, I thought Elio was an okay film. I really enjoy Disney and Pixar films for the most part, and I was pretty underwhelmed by this movie. I'm not going to lie. There's things about it that are enjoyable, that are likable, but for the most part, there's a lot of things about Elio that are a complete mess. There's rumors going around that there was huge production problems with this movie. I think he was even delayed by a full year just to make the story more watchable. So in that in and of itself is not a good sign for any movie. I also know it's not doing well at the box office. I don't think Disney and Pixar have been promoting this film the way that they should have. There's just a lot of issues going on with this movie, and after seeing the film for myself, I can kind of see where those issues are, and I can definitely see where a lot of those production problems happened. There's a change of direction and all this other stuff, so it's kind of this Frankenstein of a movie where there's things about it that are work fine, but there's other things about it that really could have used another script rewrite or a better revision or just an overall better director to kind of lead the way to a better story. But like I said, there's good and bad things about this movie, so I do want to go over some positives and negatives as to why the film is okay, why there's some decent things about it, but there's also a lot of things about it that are pretty problematic for the most part. So for my positives and negatives of Elio, I thought the visuals of this film were very realistic looking and very well done. So all the shots of Earth, all the stuff of Elio exploring a landscape of some kind, or exploring a planet, or exploring a galaxy of some kind, or exploring any kind of intergalactic setting. I thought all that stuff looked really, really good in the film. You can definitely tell they spent a lot of time and money on the visuals, regarding, in spite of all these rewrites and production problems that we've been hearing about. But for the most part, I think the visuals looked really, really good in this film. I thought they were very realistic looking for the most part, and I thought a lot of the characters looked interactive and well done, and also very detailed in all the right ways. So I thought that aspect of the story was also very good. I also thought the relationship between Elio and this Glordon character, that's this little alien that he befriends, I thought their friendship was very useful and well done. They had good screen chemistry together. I thought that aspect of the story worked really well. So I thought the whole Elio and Glordon friendship worked for the most part in this movie overall. I also thought there were some fun nods to classic science fiction films like Terminator 2 and Alien. So for those who have seen films like that, you're going to probably catch a lot of the little fun references that the film has over the course of this film and regarding to those films. So a lot of fun nods and references to those classic sci-fi films. Very good time overall for the film. I also thought the overall film's message about acceptance and accepting your differences, accepting your problems, accepting the person that you're trying to be. I thought all that was pretty effective for the most part. It's pretty run of the mill. There's a lot of films that have definitely tackled this message and theme a lot. But I thought for the most part, the overall message the film is trying to display about acceptance and fitting in with the universe that you're living in, I thought all that stuff worked pretty well for the most part. I also thought a lot of the creature designs were pretty unique and well done. That you definitely felt that a lot of these characters didn't feel like they belonged on Earth or anything, so they definitely felt like they really were kind of a part of a different planet or galaxy. They had a very unique look and feel to them. Even how the way some of them spoke, I thought was really unique and interesting as well. So I thought a lot of the creature designs were very unique and inspired overall for the most part. But for my negatives of Elio, unfortunately, the screenplay for this film is absolutely a mess. You can definitely tell that the production was a very messy one for this movie. There's times where the film tries to be about this one thing, and then it moves on to this other thing, and then it does this too, and then it's trying to do that, and then it's trying to do this, and then it's trying to do that. And I guess I can go immediately into my next negative point, where this film is taking on way too many ideas at the same time. There's a whole thing about the whole story about Elio wanting to meet these aliens, and then there's this whole thing with the aliens trying to stop this evil alien that wants to take over their community, and there's this whole thing about Elio and Glordon forming this friendship and finding a connection with each other, and there's this whole thing with Elio and his aunt, and they're not getting along, and she has problems with her job, and she can get into certain places, but she can't go into other places, and there's all this other stuff going on with her, and it's just a complete mess of a screenplay. There's just so many things going on at the same time, and the film is unfortunately only about an hour and 50 minutes, so there's just no way that this film could have balanced all these ideas successfully at the same time. It's just clearly trying to do way too many things at once. So I thought the screenplay was a mess, and there's just way too many ideas that they're trying to tackle for a film that's under 2 hours in length. I also thought a lot of the moments in this film just felt very boring here too. There's just whether the humor was off or the characters just weren't interesting at certain times. Just the way that the film is depicting science fiction, it just feels very borrowed from other things that we all really like way better than this one. And there's just certain times in the film where I just felt a little bit bored with what I was watching. I also thought some of the world building was very weak in this film. It's just not very clear what a lot of these aliens that abducted Elio, what they do throughout the day, and what exactly they do, what exactly the planets they're from, what galaxies they're from, what exactly they do as these ambassadors. It's really not clear what that really even means for these characters. So I thought a lot of the world building here was very weak and very uninteresting. So I thought that aspect of the story, unfortunately, was very underwhelming as well. I also thought a lot of the characters overall were pretty forgettable. I kind of forgot about most of these character names by the time the film was over with. Just a lot of characters that feel very flat and cardboard-like, just very uninteresting. I really didn't care for most of them. Really, besides Elio and this Glordon character, those are really the only two characters I really cared about in the movie. So as far as characters are concerned, the characterization, unfortunately, for this film is pretty weak overall. And overall, too, I just thought the film was just not very funny either. There's a lot of times where it's trying to poke fun at science fiction, have fun with the genre, and it just felt very funny. The jokes weren't funny. It just wasn't having the fun that it should have had with the whole science fiction thing. Um, I don't know. There's just something about this film that felt very off to me, unfortunately. I also thought some of the editing techniques and choices were very weak in this film. Just a lot of weird slow-mo effects that don't really add to anything. They don't really do anything for the story besides just the character kind of taking in everything as far as like a character watching in and stuff. So there was just some editing choices here that just felt very off and weak and just not very good. But overall, I'm going to give this new Elio film a 7.5 out of 10. I think there's okay things about it. I think there's just enough good things about it where if you're going to go see it, I don't think you're completely wasting your time. But at the same time, there's nothing about the film either that's so remarkably good where I'm going to straight up recommend it either. Like, there's just not enough great things about it either. So 7.5 out of 10 for me. It's an okay film. If it were me personally telling you kind of how to experience this film, I would say wait until Disney Plus where it's for free. But if you're going to go see it in the theater, if you absolutely love Pixar films, I don't think you're completely wasting your time either. So it's kind of a middle of the road movie for me. Like I said, my vote is to say wait for it to show up on Disney Plus where you can watch it for free with your subscription with them. But like I said, it's not a complete waste of time either. I'm just kind of in the middle of the road for this one. So Elio, it's not the worst Pixar film, but it's very, very far from one of the best Pixar films too.